Okay, so I am going to get into my topic. How do you know he or she is the right person, the right one? So that's what I'm gonna kind of like um, be talking about. Now, I don't do a lot of lives. I've done a handful, so I am actually I'm actually still
Your labor
learning.
costs are on the rise.
I am
Next week's schedule
actually
isn't
still
ready yet,
learning.
and you're in the middle of launching a new training program.
So what I'm gonna do is I have my computer, so I'm gonna be trying to answer you guys while I'm talking. So all right, so we're gonna be talking about how do we know he or she is the right one. I've been seeing a lot of topics online about dating and uh, just how do you find the right person, etc., etc., etc. So I said, you know what? Let me go and do a quick live, and let me just give my views. Again, this is my views, and I am old enough to understand that your view and my view may not be the same view. And I know that we are all individuals and we all have different views, which is great because diversity is what makes the world go around. So we can agree to disagree. So this basically is my opinion, my little 2 cents, and maybe I'll say something that can help somebody along the way. Hey, Tamika. All right, so also, you guys, I want you to also go and visit my channel. My channel is Twala Cole. It's just put in Twala Cole and you will see it. It's a lifestyle channel. I basically show a little bit of every part of me, fashion, hauls, lookbooks, um, love to give advice, love to give someone words of encouragement. So it's just me in a whole, okay? So visit my channel. If you would like to help support my channel, please feel free and do so. I do have supers and all of that stuff like that. So if you would like to help me with the channel, please feel free to do so. Okay, so how do you know when you have the right person? So I did write down some bullet points, and I'm going to stick to my bullet points because I want to make sure I cover everything and I don't want to miss out on nothing, okay? A lot of people really is trying to figure out this whole relationship thing and how it works, all right? So you guys, I am a wife, I'm a mom. I've been married 34 years. Yes, you heard it right. 34 years. So I do know a little something about relationships from my point of view. All right, so the first point that I want to hit is when you are, let's start with dating. When you are dating, when you're out there and you're dating, you have to make sure that you just don't, fall in love, within 2 hours. Okay? You got to make sure that you don't fall in love with the wrong things. Oh, he look good. He looks good. He's cute. His body is crazy. Oh my God, I love how he looks at me. Look how he says hi to me. Oh my God, no, absolutely not. You have to make sure that, okay. So here's the first pointer for some people who have just joined. Okay, you have to make sure that you identify the individual by their behaviors. One of the things that I did when I started when I was dating out there in general, I looked to see if the person had any empathy, if they were empathetic to others, if they had, if they displayed sympathy for others, right? I was looking to see, basically what was in their heart. You understand? If they cared about other people, or just were, were they just self-centered? Did they only think about themselves? Did their whole world consume just, me, I, right? So I always look to identify what was in the individual's heart. And this takes time. This is not like two dates and all of a sudden you think that you just know the person, you understand the person, because you can feel it in your bones that this person right here. No, honey baby, absolutely not. Even the Bible says faith without works is dead. It's two components right there. There's faith and then there's works. So it's the same thing with an individual. Sometimes people can say the right things. They can look the right way. They can do all of that. That's the outer. And lots of times we make mistakes and we fall in love with the outer. But what I would advise is that you take time and get to know what is really going on in the inside. Yes, Tamika, look at the behaviors of the individual, because those behaviors is going to tell you a lot about the person. It is going to tell you a lot about that individual, okay? Another thing is when you are trying to look at the behaviors of individuals, when you are, you're looking and you're paying attention to, their actions and the behaviors that they display. You have to make sure that you acknowledge, here's the word, that you acknowledge every red flag that you see. Because sometimes we see the red flags and we do what? We ignore them. We ignore the red flags because we feel like we have such a strong love within us that we can make that person change. I'm gonna show him this love over here, and he is going to change, because I know within myself he has never ever been loved like this before. Listen, don't believe the hype. Yeah, I'm sure that your love is really great, but you have to really make sure that you acknowledge these red flags or red flags that may occur. Now, granted, there are some red flags that maybe you guys can work and you get it together, whatever. But then there's definitely some red flags that you better see it and run as fast as you can. Yes, absolutely. Because a person behaviors will identify who that person is every single time. All right, every single time. So when you first meet someone, make sure that you are observing behaviors, okay? And don't allow your emotions now control what your behavior is towards that person. Meaning, don't get all hooked into, oh my God, he looks so good. She looks so good. Oh my God, look how he said this. Look how he said that. Ooh, look the way he dressed. Look at his house. Look at his car. If this is what if this is what you're gonna be looking at, and you're looking for the one, you may be really disappointed at the end of the day, because again, those things are outer. You want to identify the inner, what is going on the inside of this person. What behaviors do this individual bring out from what is on the inside of them, okay? So that is very, very important. Number one, that was my number one thing, to make sure that you are observing the individual's behaviors and that you are observing how they act, okay? Here's my next pointer. The next pointer I had is make up in your mind what you want. Make sure you know what it is that you want in a person. And this is a big mistake that a lot of people make. They don't sit down and really identify what it is that they want in a person. They just jump into a relationship. They just jump into, how they're feeling and what their emotions is speaking to them at that time, and they just jump all into that relationship and not knowing what they want. They will meet somebody, the outer looks good, and then the next thing you know, all of a sudden they just accept the person for who you understand, they just accept the person, don't really know who the person is, and that's it. They have claimed and jumped into a whole big relationship and did not identify what they want. What is it that you want in a relationship? What are you really looking for? What are you looking for in a relationship, right? Which brings me to my next point. Does this person have to come with the package deal? And you got to describe what the package deal is. Do they have to already come, with that six-figure job? Do they have to already come with a certain type of car? Do they have to live in a certain type of neighborhood? Do they have to have children, or do they not have to have children? Do they have to be religious, or do they not have to be religious? You get what I'm saying? You got to identify and really know what it is that you are looking for in a relationship. What is your preference? What is your deal breaker? You got to know what it is, because if you don't know what you want, and if you don't identify what you want, then you're just going to settle for anything. And here's the thing. If you say, okay, the individual that I am looking for, he has to have six figures, he has to have this type of car, he has to live in this type of neighborhood, you got to then know, is that what he's looking for in a relationship? Are you guys compatible in what you say that you want in a relationship? Because maybe he doesn't or she doesn't want the six-figure person. Maybe he or she don't want someone who lives in a certain neighborhood. Maybe this individual don't want a person that is religious. So what I'm trying to say is, the package deal that you are saying that this individual have to have, does this individual have the same preference as you? Because and how do you find out these things? By communicating, and by what? By talking. You understand? You're not just getting, not just going on a date or going with somebody and you're just asking these, these little questions that don't even get into the deep. You got to get into the deep so that you can know this individual and this individual know you. Are you guys compatible? Are you guys looking for the same thing? Are you guys looking for the same thing? If you guys are not looking for the same thing, then it's time to part the Red Sea. It's time to part the Red Sea. It's time to let it go. You understand? Because it doesn't make sense to try to force something that's not even there. And that actually was one of my pointers. You understand? You can't force something that is not there. In other words, you cannot be a puzzle piece and you trying to fit yourself into a space that you don't even fit. You guys, it's just like putting a puzzle together, and then you up there, you got a piece, and the piece don't go, but you trying to force that piece to fit in. You understand? And that's what that's a big mistake that a lot of us do. We try to make the relationship fit. We try to fit that relationship, you understand, and just make it work, because you know what? We are in love with the idea of having a relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is nothing wrong with being in love with the idea of wanting a relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that it's more than just being in love with the idea, right? So know what it is. Know what it is that you're looking for in a relationship. Make sure that this person is looking for the same thing in a relationship. You understand? Don't wait until you got your emotions and everything already involved. You understand? And then the next thing you realize that maybe this person or maybe you are not feeling this individual or this purpose. But guess what? You done already put the buggy before the horse and start doing a lot of things in a relationship. You understand that you shouldn't, that you shouldn't have done, right? Because a lot of times we can get into these relationships. We don't get to know one another. We have not identified what we want. We didn't even identify what we like in a relationship. And then guess what? You done put the buggy before the horse, which means that you done already did some stuff. You understand? Maybe you done already moved in with the person. Maybe y'all done already purchased something together and now you're sharing payments. You understand what I'm saying? Then when it gets that far, now you're stuck into something that is not working. You're stuck into a relationship that you don't want. And it's not as easy. You can't easily pull out of it because guess what? You done connected in ways that maybe you shouldn't have, not yet. Not yet. So what am I saying here? The first thing I said was, hey, Money Making Monique, how you doing, my girl? So the first thing I said is that when you are trying to date somebody or when you're trying to find out if this person is the right person, the number one, what is the first thing I said? To watch the individual and see what is in their heart. Watch their behaviors. Do they operate in empathy and sympathy for others? This is very important because a person that operates in empathy and sympathy for others, this is a person who cares about people, care about people's, what people are going through. You understand? They sympathize with other people other than themselves. And this is a beautiful trait. This is something that all women and men should look for when they are dating and when they are trying to find the right man. If you are dating someone and all they talk about is themselves and everything surrounds them and everything is about them, and if you're dating someone like that, run as fast as you can. Be like the little engine that could. I think I can, until you can yourself right on out of that relationship. Because I'm telling you, if you try to, like I said, if you try to be that puzzle piece that don't fit into space, you're going to have trouble down the road, and you're going to wish that you did what? That you got to know what was in that person's heart. What behaviors that they displayed, okay? So that was my first thing. Know what's in a person's heart, right? And the second one is to make up your mind and know what you want. Don't just jump in a relationship and don't know what you want. Know what you want and know and identify. Is what I want, is it what he wants too? Because if you want A and he wants B, then it's not going to work. Now, definitely you can want A and B and you guys can come together, you understand, and you work on, your goals, and then you come and he works on his goals, and then you guys come together and you work on our goals, of course. But, we're talking about in the beginning stages of when you are dating someone. If your must-haves is he has to be making a certain money, he has to be driving a certain car, he has to be living in a certain type of neighborhood. If this is what you're looking for in a man or a woman, make sure you understand that, is this person looking for the same thing? Is this what this person wants? Because guess what? If you want a big house on top of the hill and he wants a house in the valley, then that ain't going to work. Eventually, you guys are going to both hit. And especially if this person is adamant about what they want and they're not trying to compromise, then eventually it's not going to work. It is not going to work. And this is, as a social worker, sometimes in cases, Tamika, because you're a social worker as well, we do something that's called fact finding. You better fact find before you get your heart all entangled up in someone that at the end of the day, that's not going to pan out to be your person. So fact finding is very important. Is this person compatible with me? Does this person want what I want? Do we share the same goals in life, right? It is nothing worse than falling in love with somebody and then come down the line. You understand? This individual, okay, what if you do this? You fall in love with somebody, and let's say that you are religious. Let's say that you have to go to church. Let's say that you want, if you don't have children, you want your children to be raised in church. Whatever the case may be. If you do have children, you want your children, whatever. What if the individual, look now, you did no fact finding. All you did was jump into the relationship and you enjoyed the honeymoon phase, because you know relationships are great at the beginning because we call it the honeymoon phase. So yeah, oh, I'm so in love. Oh my God, I love how he looks. Oh my God, I love you. That's the honeymoon stage, right? But when that stuff starts to get real serious, you understand, real serious, then you find out, oh, I don't want to go to church. I'm a devil worshiper. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is something that you should have found out what? In the beginning of the relationship. In the beginning of the relationship. So what are you going to do? Watch a person's behaviors. Find out what type of behaviors they display. Find out what are you looking for? You ask the person when you first meet them, what are you looking for in a relationship? Oh, okay, this is what I am looking for. Then if you come to the conclusion that what you're looking for and what they're looking for is not compatible to what you are looking for, then guess what? Don't part the Red Sea. Part the Red Sea. Don't try to be the puzzle piece that don't fit. Because later on down the line, you're going to get your feelings hurt. And you're going to be stuck into something that you might not very easily be able to get out of. Especially if you done already, maybe done moved in with the person. Maybe y'all done sat there and bought a car together. This is a negative zero. You don't do this when you're first meeting someone. You gotta let that relationship marinate. Get to know each other. Let it marinate for a while. And then once you feel within yourself, you understand, and you see things going away, then you go into more serious things, okay? With me now, like I said, this is just me. This is just how I did it, but I can't speak for everybody. Right now, I'm just giving my little 2 cents based off of the experience that I have had, okay? Now, with me, I am not buying nothing with you. You understand? I gotta have this. I gotta have this first before that's even happening. We ain't buying nothing together. You is not gonna live with me. You understand? Unless it's this. That's just me. That's just me. I'm not saying everybody is like this. The world, everybody is different, and it's beautiful that we're all different because diversity makes the world go around. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you like we say in church. Right now, you just eat the meat and spit out the bone. That means you take whatever I'm saying, whatever's meat to you, you eat it. And whatever's not meat to you, you spit it right on out, right? So this is just me and my little 2 cents, okay? We ain't buying nothing together, and you sure is not living with me until, if I got this, then it's a whole different story, right? But sometimes we jump ahead. And then guess what? 2 months later, you find out you can't stand. I can't stand the ground that he walks on. But guess what? You put the buggy before the horse. You know the horse got to go before the buggy. But some of us put the buggy before the horse. And guess what? Now we're into a situation that we really can't just break out of so easily. All right? Are we on the same page? Let me hear from you guys. Okay? All right. So here's the next thing. Here's the question. Does a person have to come with a certain package? before you deal with them? Or are you the type of person that you could, if you see that a person heart is good and the person is a good person, a hardworking person, can you be in a relationship where you guys are working together and building? You know, you got to be able to identify that. You know, there's some people, especially nowadays, there's people like, nah, he got to come, he got to come with this, he got to come with that, you know, he got to do this, he got to be at this level and blah, blah, blah. You know, some people say that. And if that's how you feel, that is perfectly fine. I am not here to knock anybody's decision because diversity is a beautiful thing. But here's the thing. Here is the thing. Sometimes you can miss out, and this is just me. This is just me. This is just my little 2 cents. But maybe what if you miss out on someone really good? Someone that is very compatible to you, someone that can love you the way a woman should be loved, but maybe he ain't at the 6 figures yet. Maybe he don't live in that neighborhood that you want, you know. You know, maybe that's not there. But guess what? But maybe if y'all together and he's a good person and she's a good person, they have a beautiful heart, they hardworking, they share the same values as you, maybe you guys could build together and get what you want together. You know, I know now in 2024, I know a lot of people now, they on that, you know, he got to be Big Willie, you understand? But I'm just going to say this, and if that's your preference, it is okay. I'm not here to knock anybody, but I'm just going to say this. Sometimes in life, you could be up here, and there's something to happen, and you'll be down there. I'm just saying. And then if that does happen, is he or she going to stay and build back up? Or is this individual going to be like, oh, you don't have the package that I want out. I'm getting out. I'm just saying these are things to look for. These are things to look for. Are you a type of person, do you believe that once you get married, you want to stay married? Or are you the type of person that once stuff starts going downhill, I'm dropping you like a hot potato? You got to identify this stuff. Because maybe the person that you are dating, maybe they're the type of person that believes in sticking in a marriage or in a relationship, hanging in and fighting together through the different stages of a relationship. So then if that person thinks like that and you think something different, then what? It's not going to work. It's not going to what? It's not going to work. Right? So that's why I say you got to know what it is that you are looking for in a relationship. You got to be able to identify what it is, and you got to identify in that individual. Yes, Money Maker Monique, I see you said you don't mind building together. Tamika, you said the same thing. I agree with y'all on that one. I did not mind building. You understand? With my husband, I did not build it. And guess what? We're still building. You guys understand what I'm saying? I'm okay. I'm okay with that, right? Here's another thing. Are you the type of individual, if someone makes a mistake, are you the type of individual that can forgive? Or are you the type of person that when a person make a mistake, you're like, that's it, it's over. Get out. Let the door let the door hit you in the back where you, I don't know where you're, whatever. Are you that type of person? All right. What if the person that is with you is not like that? What if the person that you are with is the type of person that believes in giving somebody a first and second chance? You guys see where I'm going here? These are all things that you have to do what? That you have to identify before you say, this is the one. This is the one. Because if the person does not have the ability to forgive, then honey baby, I don't know how the relationship is going to really work. Because again, As the individual that has been married 34 years, I'm going to say it again, 34 years, I'm going to let you know right now that you're going to have some forgiveness in your heart. You're going to have to be able to operate in forgiveness. You want to know why? You ain't perfect and they're not perfect. You understand what I'm saying? You're not perfect. They're not perfect. You're going to bound to make mistakes. They're going to bound to make mistakes. Are you willing to be able to work with that individual? Now, I didn't say nothing about presumptuous mistakes. That's somebody who keep on making the same mistake over and over. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. But right now, I'm talking about people who earnestly make mistakes, and it's actually a mistake. Do you have a forgiving heart? Are you going to be able to work with an individual, you understand, who have made a mistake? These are all things that you have to do what? That you have to consider. Okay? Here's another point. All right? I said, let's see. How does the individual handle conflict? How do you handle conflict? How do you guys handle conflict? That's something that you have to watch when you're in a relationship. When there is a conflict, when you and that individual have opposing views, how do they handle it? If the individual has a whole temper tantrum, you understand? If they get very mad, very upset, what is their behaviors when they get upset and when they get mad? How do they handle you? What do they say to you? Now, I'm not saying for like when you get mad and you may blow over, you understand? No, I'm talking about repeated behaviors. Repeated behaviors when an individual gets mad and how you know, what do they do? Are you watching that? Is there a red flag going on that you are ignoring? You understand? What is it that this person do? Do they lash out? Do they have a whole big temper tantrum? Do they run away? Do you don't see them for a couple of days? Are you the one who have to always be the one calling and saying, "Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it"? Do you have to be the one who always be the smaller person and say it's my fault? These are red flags. These are things that women need to really look at, because if this individual, he or she, if they don't know how to handle conflict, run as fast as you can. I'm going to tell you that right now. Run as fast as you can. If this individual look like they flashing out, sometimes people who are abusers, at first they'll do things like throwing things. They're not gonna let you see right away that they are an abuser, but you may see it in other stuff by throwing things, slamming doors. You understand? Breaking stuff. These are red flags. And this is what an abuser may show these behaviors at first. But honey child, you keep on with that relationship, then the next thing you know, that behavior turns on you. So these are red flags right here. These are things that this right now, don't try to be that puzzle that fits into a space that it doesn't belong. You run as fast as you can. There are other fish in the sea. You understand? There are other fish in the sea. Do not, I repeat, do not stay into a relationship where you see that someone, you understand, is becoming, where they're angry and they don't know how to handle their anger issues, and they don't have no resolution conflict skills. Run away as fast as you can. So, do you guys have any questions or comments so far? Any questions? Before I get to my last couple of points, I want to know, does anybody have any comments, or do you have any questions that you would like me to say? All right. So Tamika, see where you said fact finding, your maid, Okay, money making Manisa speaking facts. Okay. Um, all right, anybody else? Any before I go on, okay? All right, so let me go on. Um, what is moving too fast in a relationship? All right, so moving too fast in a relationship, that's when you are driven by your emotions. When you are driven by your emotions and you have already made the man or the woman in your head, you have already saw yourself in 2 weeks going down the aisle. You have already claimed it your husband. And that's the wrong thing to do because so sometimes we move so fast and we claim that individual as the one, as the husband or the wife. We claim the individual so fast, so earlier on, you understand, without getting to know the person. Moving too fast is already seeing yourself married, you understand, and you don't know anything at all about the person. When moving too fast is when you have identified some red flags, but you still continue to move on with that relationship because you are in love with having a relationship. You're in love with having a relationship, you understand, and you're bypassing everything. um you're bypassing fact finding. You're bypassing what this individual is looking for, what you're looking for. You are just bypassing the whole stage of getting to know someone, getting to identify the individual, knowing what's in the individual's heart. You already done claimed that this is your person. That's moving too fast. Moving too fast is you just met the person and and the next thing you don't know, you done sat there and bought a car with the individual, or these stuff like that. That's just a bit much. That's just going too far. Okay, Tamika, you say in love with having a relationship, but passing facts. Absolutely, absolutely. That's crazy. That's a negative no. Like you gotta calm yourself, speak to yourself, and just be like, okay, girl, take 2 seats. You is not in love right now. Take 2 seats. Now I'm not gonna put like a number on it, and I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna say like, well, I think 5 years or 1 year. I'm not gonna say that because sometimes people may not have known each other for 50,000 years, and they in a beautiful relationship, been in a beautiful relationship. You understand? You got to identify yourself when it is the right time to start thinking, this is the one, or this is the one. You got to be able to identify that, right? Is there any truth to love at first sight? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. You understand? There's some people who have said yes, they knew that was the person, and I can't say that. No, it doesn't happen like that. You understand? I can't really say that. It's just that the people who are in that relationship, you guys have, do your due diligence to get to know the person. And if you got discernment, the gift of discernment, and if you believe it, y'all know what I'm talking about. You got to do all of those things. But I'm not gonna say that there is a number, Tamika, on or to say, there's not love at first sight, because there's some people who have said, I did not know my husband a very long time before I married my husband, and now it's 34 years. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, I can't say. You understand? I can't say. I know with me, because I have the gift of discernment. You understand? And see, the thing is, I'll say, like with me and my husband, right? We both grew up in the church. So we both had a background. We both had a background as believers. We both, even though when we met, we was in a backslidden stage, but we both had an upbringing of being, in the church. Um, we both had gifts of the spirit, even though, we was in the back. So these things kind of like, you understand, help in the relationship with me and my husband because of our backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? For those of you who understand what I'm saying, you understand. And then, so I can't really say, Tamika, some people maybe they do fall in love at the first sight, but even if you feel like that, you still got to give yourself time to really know the person before you jump into a whole full blow. And let me tell you something, when you first really meet somebody and you're trying to find out, is this individual for me, have fun, take your time and get to know the person. Stay in the dating stage, for a while. Don't turn it into a whole marriage, at first. Like, get to know that individual first. Get to really know. Spend time laughing. Spend time fact finding. Spend time knowing each other. Spend time enjoying life. You understand, first before you jump into, in my opinion, like I said, in my opinion. But like I said, everybody is different. In my opinion, do all the things before you find yourself, creating bills or, like, I say enjoy one another first. And again, this is just my opinion. All right. So the last thing is, or almost the last thing is, have you healed? Before you jump into another relationship, have you healed from your past traumas, from your past relationships? Have you healed? Like, if you still have a lot of baggage, deal with the baggage, deal with your emotions and your feelings first before you get involved into another relationship, right? Because if you haven't healed from a past hurt relationship, you're going to bring that baggage into a new relationship. And I guarantee that relationship is going to die real fast. Because if you haven't healed and got over certain things, it's not going to work. All right, so Tamika, you said, how do you start to leave a relationship that is not for you? I'm going to tell you the honest truth. And again, this is my opinion. When I had my relationships that I had before I got married, when I saw that the relationship was going downhill and that it wasn't for me, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I verbalized it. I communicated that, and I got out of Dodge. Because I can't be someplace uncomfortable. I'm not going to say I didn't try. I didn't try to make it work. You understand? I gave it time. I tried. I did all the things. But when I came to the conclusion, Tamika, that it just was not for me, I was out of Dodge. I am not going to stay into a relationship that I am not comfortable with. That's a -0. Absolutely not. And that is because I love myself. I love my peace. I love myself. You understand? And that's why I did not stay into something that I'm like, where it's not, where it's hurting me. It's not benefiting me. You understand? I'm gone. Deuces. That's how, I'm sorry. That's that. I'm not trying. I ain't going to be that puzzle piece and try to make myself say into something that is not, absolutely not. Absolutely no. That's a negative. All right. You got to be mature. You have to be mature. All right. And yeah, that's it. That is pretty much it. Thank you, Tamika, for hanging in with me. Thank you, Money Making Monique. Okay. Thank you guys for hanging in with me. Make sure that you give me a thumbs up um, on this live. Please make sure that you give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it very, very much. Okay? All right. And yep, we've come to the end. We've come to the end. All right. So see you guys. See y'all. And I'll see y'all in a vlog. Deuces. Deuces, people. All right, now how do I get out? This always happens to me. This always happens to me.